concentrated forms of carbohydrates really are a performance-enhancing drug. You know you got to have your carbs or else you're going to bonk. It seems like not a week goes by that another article or news piece comes out about another scandal in sport with performance-enhancing drugs. And while most of it seems to be in those sports where there's a lot of money at stake or a lot at stake in prestige, it's filtered across the spectrum of sports. Even now in the trail ultra running scene, there's some unfortunate incidences or talk, even on the forums, suggesting this person or that person, what are they doing, with the obvious overtone that there might be a performance-enhancing drug involved. And it's unfortunate, and it's a part of that human condition that sometimes we'll win at all costs, even if it means doing something that might not be legal, and also what might not be in our best interest long term. And so we're here with this unfortunate situation. But I have a little tip for you today about a performance-enhancing drug that is legal, commonly available, and you're probably using it right now. And that is concentrated forms of carbohydrate. Yes, concentrated carbs are the most used and abused PED, and they're perfectly legal. And yeah, here's Peter again with one of his crazy heretical notions, but think about it for a second. Just stop and think. Because if you think about it, concentrated forms of carbohydrates really are a performance-enhancing drug because they meet the description. The first thing is, do they enhance performance? Yes. Proven time and time again with numerous studies, numerous results, and even you know that adding that gel or some carbs in your meal before your competition really give you that push you need. So yes, they do enhance performance. But there's that flip side of performance-enhancing drugs, and that's what I call the unintended consequences. So with performance-enhancing drugs, you have unintended consequences that you're trading off for that enhanced performance. And again, concentrated forms of carbohydrates, when they're used and abused, meet that definition. Are they addictive? Yes. The physiology of carbohydrate metabolism is such that when you overuse carbohydrates, you become addicted to them on a physiological, psychological, and emotional level. You literally got to have your carbs. You might be one of those persons who has to have a meal every 2 or 3 hours, or you know you got to have your carbs or else you're going to bonk. Well, I'm here to tell you today, that's addiction. Even somebody like Dr. Mark Cucuzzella, who is now a big advocate for carbohydrate restriction, told me that back in the day when he was a high-carb runner, he would get up at 2 or 3 in the morning to have a bowl of cereal because his blood sugar was low. That's addiction. Now, are there long-term downside consequences to using concentrated carbs? Once again, yes, they meet the description for a PED. Things like type 2 diabetes, weight gain, metabolic syndrome, and even we're looking at ties to heart disease, cancer, and a host of other diseases from the chronic overuse of carbohydrates. So I'm not saying carbohydrates are bad or carbohydrates in moderation met to that individual's need are bad. What I'm saying is that carbohydrates used and abused chronically are a PED with downside consequences. That's my little tip for the day. There's your legal performance-enhancing drug. Use it wisely, use it in small doses, and get fat adapted to help you utilize those carbs as a legal PED to get the benefits, but not overuse them so you get those downside consequences of addiction and the whole host of issues you're going to face if you use them long term. It's like I say, it's not a question of if you're going to have a problem, it's when and what form. Thanks again.